I want you to visualize the moment you land. You are tired. You are stiff from sitting in economy for 8 hours. You just want to get to your hotel, take a shower, and start your vacation. You stand at the baggage carousel. You hear that loud buzzer sound, and the belt starts moving. You watch the bag slide down the chute. You are looking for your bag, and then you see it, but it doesn't look like the bag you packed. Instead of your sleek, expensive suitcase, you see a sad, broken box coming toward you, wrapped in 50 layers of heavy-duty, clear industrial plastic tape with a bright orange sticker that says, "Damaged, conditional acceptance." Your heart drops. You pull it off the belt, struggling because the handle is missing, and you realize the zipper has blown out completely. Your clothes, your shoes, and your toiletries are currently being held together by tape. You can see your underwear through the plastic. The shame is bad, the inconvenience is worse, but the reality is this was preventable. Many of you are traveling with luggage that was designed for a showroom, not for the brutal reality of the airline industry. Baggage handlers, we call them ramp rats, are moving 300 to 400 bags per hour. They are not being malicious. They are rushing. They grab handles. They throw bags onto carts. They stack 50-pound boxes on top of your soft-sided bag. If you buy a bag with the wrong features, you are essentially sending a fragile egg into a mosh pit. And when that bag fails, it doesn't just cost you money to replace it at expensive airport prices, it can physically hurt you. I have seen passengers throw out their backs trying to drag a broken bag, and I've seen trips ruined on day one because of a split seam. Today, I am going to walk you through the 10 specific luggage features that look great in the store, but will drive you absolutely crazy in the real world. If we haven't met before, hello. My name is Sophia. I have been a flight attendant for 15 years. I call myself the guardian of travel because my job is to protect you, not just from turbulence, but from the mistakes that make travel harder than it needs to be. I watch thousands of passengers board my planes every week. I watch them struggle to lift bags into overhead bins. I watch them trip over their own wheels in the aisle. I watch them crying at the baggage service office. Especially for my travelers over 60, your luggage is not a fashion accessory. It is your mobile home. It houses your medication, your comfort, and your security. If the house collapses, you are in trouble. I want to save your rotator cuff. I want to save your lower back, and I want to save your wallet. So before you go to Macy's or TJ Maxx for your next trip, listen to this list. These are the marketing gimmicks you need to avoid at all costs. Let's start with the most controversial point. If you go to a luggage store today, 95% of the bags are spinners, the ones with 4 wheels that glide effortlessly in any direction. The salesperson will tell you, it takes the weight off your arm. It's magic. This is secret number 1, the spinner trap. Spinners are amazing on exactly one surface, the polished terrazzo floor of an airport terminal. But you don't live in the terminal. You have to walk to the Uber. You have to walk on the sidewalk. You have to navigate the carpeted hallway of your hotel. And if you are going to Europe, you have to deal with cobblestones. 4-wheel spinners have a high center of gravity and tiny exposed wheels. On hotel carpet, a 4-wheel bag creates massive friction. You end up having to drag it behind you anyway, but because the wheels stick out, they torque your wrist. Those tiny wheels get stuck in cracks instantly. If you hit a crack while pushing the bag stops, but you keep moving. You trip over it. I have seen this happen a dozen times. And the medical risk, spinners have no brakes. I want to tell you about Mrs. Davies. She was 72, traveling solo in Italy. She was waiting for a train in Florence. The platform had a very slight, imperceptible slope. She let go of her spinner for 2 seconds to check her ticket. Because the bag had 4 premium, frictionless wheels, it started to roll. It gathered speed. Mrs. Davies realized it was moving toward the tracks. She lunged to grab it. She caught the handle, but the momentum jerked her forward. She fell hard onto the concrete platform. She saved the bag, but she fractured her wrist. She spent the next 2 weeks of her dream Italian vacation in a cast, unable to cut her own food or wash her hair properly. All because the bag didn't have brakes. Next time you're at the airport, look at the flight crew. Look at the pilots and the flight attendants. What do we drag? We almost exclusively use 2-wheel rollerboards. Why? Because the wheels are recessed into the bag. They are larger, so they tackle curbs and cracks easily. And when you stop, the bag sits on 2 rubber feet. It stays put. If you have balance issues or wrist strength issues, buy a 2-wheel bag. If you must buy a four-wheel spinner because you love the glide, you must ensure it has wheel locks. Or be prepared to hold on to it for dear life every second you are on a train platform. This next one is a psychological trap. You want to look professional. You want a bag that hides dirt and scuffs. So, you buy the same bag everyone else buys, the black hardshell suitcase. This is secret number 2, carousel blindness. I would estimate that 70% of the bags on any given flight are medium-sized black rectangles. When you are tired, jet-lagged, and staring at a moving belt, your brain plays tricks on you. You see a black bag, you think, that's mine. You grab it and go. Accidental bag swaps happen daily. And for seniors, the stakes are incredibly high. If a 20-year-old grabs the wrong bag, they lose some t-shirts. If you grab the wrong bag, you lose your specific orthopedic shoes, your CPAP machine accessories, or your backup medication. I had a passenger named Mr. Clark. He flew into Fort Lauderdale to catch a cruise. He was in a rush. He grabbed a black Samsonite bag from the carousel and jumped in a taxi to the port. He boarded the ship. The ship sailed. He went to his cabin to unpack for dinner. He opened the bag. It wasn't his bag. It belonged to a teenage girl. It was full of bikinis and flip-flops. His bag, with his tuxedo, his blood pressure cuff, and his prescription goggles, was sitting back at the airport, circling the carousel. He spent a 7-day cruise wearing the same clothes he traveled in, washing his underwear in the sink every night. The ship's shop didn't carry his size. It was humiliating for him. But Sophia, you say, I put a red ribbon on the handle. Stop. Do not use ribbons. Why? Because ribbons get caught in the conveyor belt machinery. The ramp rats hate them. Often the machinery rips the ribbon off. A ribbon is not a secure identifier. You need to make your bag unstealable and instantly recognizable. Buy a bright neon luggage strap that goes around the entire bag. This serves 2 purposes. It identifies the bag, and if the zipper bursts, it keeps the bag closed. Go to a craft store and buy an oil-based paint pen. Write your initials or a distinctive design directly on the hard shell. No one accidentally steals a bag that has Sophia painted on the side in gold. This next feature is standard on almost all hard-shell suitcases, and I absolutely hate it for hotel travel. It is the clamshell design, where the zipper runs down the middle and the bag opens like a book into 2 equal halves. This is secret number 3, the floor space hog. In a showroom, a clamshell looks great. You have 2 compartments, organized. But think about the environment you are traveling to. European hotel rooms are notoriously tiny. Cruise ship cabins are even smaller. The luggage rack in a hotel room is designed for a traditional suitcase, one that is deep on the bottom and has a thin lid on top. When you open a clamshell bag, you effectively double its footprint. If you put a clamshell on a luggage rack and unzip it, the heavy top half flops open and hits the wall, or worse, the whole thing topples off the rack because it's too wide. This forces you to put the bag on the floor. I remember a lovely couple, the Millers, telling me about their trip to Paris. They booked a boutique hotel. The room was charming, but the size of a closet. They had 2 large clamshell suitcases. To open them, they had to lay them flat on the floor. Once the bags were open, there was 0 floor space left. To get from the bed to the bathroom in the middle of the night, they literally had to hurdle over their open suitcases. Mrs. Miller told me, Sophia, I felt like I was running an obstacle course at 3 a.m. just to use the toilet. That is a fall hazard. If you trip over your own suitcase in the dark because it takes up the whole room, that's a broken hip waiting to happen. If you want a hard shell bag, look specifically for a top loader or trunk-style bag. Brands like Briggs & Riley or specific lines from Travel Pro make hard bags that have a lid opening. This allows you to keep the deep part of the bag on the luggage rack and just flip up the lid, saving your floor space and your sanity. We live in a digital world. We all have phones, tablets, and e-readers. So when you see a suitcase in the store that has a built-in USB charger and a battery, you think, genius, I'll never run out of power. This brings us to secret number 4, the lithium trap. Buying a smart bag with a non-removable battery is essentially buying a ticket to a confrontation at the gate. The Federal Aviation Administration and international regulators are terrified of lithium-ion batteries catching fire in the cargo hold. If a fire starts in the belly of the plane, the fire suppression systems might not be able to put it out quickly enough. Because of this, airlines have a strict rule. If a bag goes in the cargo hold, the lithium battery must be removed and carried in the cabin. Many first-generation smart bags have batteries that are screwed in or sewn into the lining. You cannot pop them out. Here is the nightmare scenario. You are boarding a full flight. The overhead bins are full. The gate agent says, "I'm sorry, we have to check your bag to your final destination." You say, "Okay." They ask, "Does this bag have a battery?" You say, "Yes, but I can't take it out." The agent will look you in the eye and say, "Then this bag cannot fly." I watched this happen to a businessman on a flight to Tokyo. He had a $600 designer smart bag. He was forced to gate check it because he was in the last boarding group. He couldn't remove the battery. The pilot refused to let the bag on board. He had two choices: miss his flight or destroy his bag. I watched a grown man on the jet bridge, sweating, using his house keys to rip open the expensive lining of his suitcase to try and pry the battery unit out. He destroyed the bag. He was furious. But the airline was right. Safety comes first. If you want a bag with power, check the mechanism in the store. Does the battery pop out with a single click? If you need a screwdriver, or if you have to unzip an inner lining to get to it, do not buy it. Better yet, buy a dumb bag and carry a separate $30 portable power bank in your purse. It's cheaper, lighter, and guarantees you won't be denied boarding. This next feature is a design trend that drives me crazy because it causes actual physical pain to my older passengers. I'm talking about the single-pole telescoping handle. Instead of the traditional two bars that slide up, it has one single stick in the middle. It looks sleek, it looks modern, it is an ergonomic disaster. This is secret number 5, the torsion trap. When you drag a bag, especially on carpet or uneven ground, the bag wants to twist. With a double pole handle, you have leverage. Your hand can stabilize the bag easily. With a single pole handle, you have zero leverage against the twist. The handle acts like a pivot point. Every time the bag hits a bump, the handle twists in your hand. Your wrist and elbow have to work 10 times harder to fight that rotation. Furthermore, as a traveler, you probably have a second bag, a laptop bag, a tote, or a CPAP machine case that has a trolley sleeve to slide over the handle. These sleeves are designed for double poles. If you slide a heavy tote bag onto a single pole, it spins around like a weather vane. It flops off the side. It drags on the floor. I see seniors struggling through the terminal, trying to balance a spinning tote bag while dragging a heavy suitcase, looking absolutely exhausted. Mrs. Gable, a frequent flyer of mine, she bought a single pole bag because it was lightweight. She tried to stack her heavy carry-on tote on it. She was rushing to a connection in Atlanta. She turned a corner. The top bag spun violently, throwing off the center of gravity. The whole stack tipped over. She tried to catch it and wrenched her shoulder. She spent her vacation in a sling. The torque on that single handle was simply too unstable for a stacked load. When you are in the store, extend the handle fully. Grab the grip. Wiggle it left and right. The wiggle test. If the handle twists more than an inch in either direction, walk away. Always choose a double pole handle. It is the chassis of your mobile home. It needs to be stable. You might have seen these bags that look like bank vaults. They don't have zippers. They have aluminum frames and heavy-duty latches that snap shut. They look incredibly secure. This is secret number 6, the rigid frame failure. Zippers break, latches are forever. That's what the marketing says. And yes, zippers can be breached, but a latch system relies on perfect alignment. Remember the ramp rats? They throw bags. Bags land on corners. If an aluminum frame bag gets dented, even slightly, the frame warps. If the frame warps by even 3 millimeters, the latches will not line up. You arrive at your hotel. You open your bag, you unpack, then you repack to leave. You try to close the bag. The top latch clicks. The bottom latch misses. You push, you sweat. You sit on the bag, it won't close. Because the frame is bent, the geometry is gone. You physically cannot lock your suitcase. I had a passenger flying back from a ski trip. His high-end aluminum latch bag had taken a hit on the conveyor belt. Customs asked him to open it for an inspection. He opened it. The agents looked through it, then he tried to close it. The frame was sprung. It wouldn't latch. He was standing in the customs hall, sweating with his underwear exposed, unable to seal his bag. We had to find a roll of duct tape from maintenance to tape his $800 suitcase shut so he could get it to his connecting flight. High-quality, heavy-duty self-healing zippers are actually superior for checked luggage. Why? Because zippers are flexible. If the bag gets dented, the zipper fabric flexes. It still closes. Rigid frames have zero tolerance for error unless you are buying a $2,500 Rimowa stick-to-zippers. Buy one bag, get two sizes. That's the promise of the expandable zipper. You unzip a gusset and your bag grows by 2 inches. It seems like a great value. I can fit my souvenirs. This is secret number 7, the center of gravity shift. Suitcases are engineered to balance when they are packed within their frame. When you unzip that expansion layer, you are adding weight to the front of the bag, usually outside the wheelbase. This shifts the center of gravity forward. You have seen this in the airport line. You stop walking. You let go of your bag. Wham! It falls flat on its face. You pick it up. You try to balance it. You let go. Wham! An expanded bag is a tipping machine. For a senior traveler, this is a nightmare. Every time you stop to show your passport or buy a coffee, you have to fight your bag to keep it upright. If it falls, it becomes a tripping hazard for you and others. Furthermore, airline sizers are sized for the unexpanded bag. If you expand your carry-on, it will not fit. The gate agent will make you check it. And because you are checking it at the gate, they might charge you a gate check fee. If you expand a checked bag, you might push the dimensions over the 62 linear inches rule, triggering an oversized bag fee, which can be $100 plus. I watched a lady on an escalator. She had an expanded carry-on. Because the center of gravity was off, the bag tipped forward on the step, it tumbled down the escalator. It knocked into a businessman below her. It was chaos. Thankfully, no one was seriously hurt, but she was mortified. The expansion feature turned her bag into a projectile. If you think you need more space, buy a bigger bag. Do not rely on expansion, or pack a collapsible duffel bag inside your suitcase. If you buy souvenirs, fill the duffel and check it on the way home. Keeping your main bag structurally sound and balanced is critical for your stability and safety. We have talked about features, now let's talk about scale. In the luggage aisle, you see the large 30-inch spinner. It is only $20 more than the medium 25-inch one. You do the math. More space for just $20. That's a bargain. This is secret number 8, the orthopedic disaster. A 29 or 30-inch suitcase, when fully packed, can easily weigh 60 to 70 pounds. The airline weight limit is 50 pounds. So right off the bat, you are setting yourself up for an overweight baggage fee of $100 to $200. But the money isn't the real problem. The problem is physics. When you have to lift that 70-pound monster into the trunk of a taxi, off the baggage carousel, or onto a hotel bed, you are putting massive strain on your lower back. For my seniors, the leverage point when lifting a bag that heavy and that bulky is exactly where disc herniations happen. Europe runs on trains. The gap between the platform and the train is often wide, and there are often steep steps to get on board. Trains do not wait. The doors close automatically. I will never forget Mrs. Henderson. She was 74, traveling solo in Germany. She bought the monster bag because she wanted to bring gifts for everyone. She was boarding a train to Munich. She got her purse on. She turned around to heave the giant suitcase up the stairs. It was too heavy. It got stuck on the lip of the train step. The warning chime sounded. The doors started to close. She panicked. She pulled. It wouldn't budge. She had to let go. The doors closed. She was on the train. Her medication, her clothes, and her gifts were on the platform. She watched her bag disappear as the train pulled away. It took her 3 days and hundreds of dollars to track it down. She spent the first 3 days of her trip with nothing but her handbag. Adopt the 25-inch rule. Never buy a checked bag larger than 25 or 26 inches. Why? Impossible to overpack. It is physically hard to pack a 25-inch bag over 50 pounds. It keeps you legal. Liftability. It is manageable for one person to lift into a trunk without help. Trunk space. A 30-inch bag often won't fit in the trunk of a European taxi. A 25-inch bag fits everywhere. This next secret is about psychology. We all want to travel in style. We see those beautiful bags with the famous LV monogram or the bright, recognizable Gucci stripes. You think, I worked hard. I deserve nice things. This is secret number 9, the rich tourist target. To a professional thief, and airports are full of them, a designer logo is not a fashion statement. It is a menu. It tells them this person has money, the contents of this bag are likely expensive. This person might be distracted. Thieves rarely steal the whole bag anymore. Instead, they do bash and grab. In the chaotic transfer van or the hotel lobby while you are checking in, they slash the side of a soft designer bag or pop the zipper of a hard one, grab a handful of contents, and vanish. I had a first-class passenger flying to Rio. She had a stunning set of designer luggage, bright, recognizable print. She waited at the carousel. Her bags never came out. It turned out a spotter had seen her bags being unloaded on the tarmac. They signaled an accomplice inside the baggage handling area. The bags were misplaced intentionally before they even hit the belt. Meanwhile, the boring, scuffed-up black bags next to hers arrived safely. She became a target because her luggage screamed, "Look at me. Practice stealth wealth. Buy high-quality brands, but buy them in boring colors like slate, navy, or black. If you have a fancy bag, buy a cheap, ugly canvas cover for it. Make your bag look like it belongs to a tired business traveler, not a wealthy tourist. Camouflage is your friend." Finally, secret number 10. This is the one that will make you run to your closet and check your current suitcase immediately. It is about the zipper. There are two types of zippers, chain and coil. 90% of cheap luggage uses coil zippers. This is secret number 10, the ballpoint pen breach. A coil zipper is just two nylon coils pushed together. If you take a standard Bic ballpoint pen and jam it hard into the center of a closed coil zipper, the teeth separate instantly. The thief can open your bag, rifle through it, steal your watch, and then, here is the scary part, they zip it back up. The zipper heals itself. You pick up your bag, it looks locked. You don't realize you've been robbed until you get to your hotel room hours later. A passenger flew from New York to Bangkok. He had a TSA lock on his zippers. He felt safe. When he arrived, his bag was locked. But when he opened it, his iPad and his wife's jewelry box were gone. He tried to claim insurance. The airline said, "The bag arrived locked and undamaged. There is no proof of theft. Claim denied." Because the zipper wasn't broken, he had no evidence. Look at your zipper. If the teeth look like two rows of individual blocks interlocking, that is a chain or molded zipper. It is secure. If you are buying a new bag, look for double tooth or security zippers. Brands like PacSafe or high-end Samsonite lines use a double layer of teeth that cannot be punctured by a pen. If you have a coil zipper, lock the zipper pulls to a fixed point on the bag, not just to each other. This restricts the range of motion and makes the zip backup trick much harder. We have covered a lot today. From the dangers of four-wheel spinners on cobblestones to the pen trick that thieves use. I know this might make you look at your current luggage with suspicion. That's good. Being critical of your gear is the first step to safe travel. I want to hear from you in the comments. Question of the day. Go look at your suitcase right now. Does it have 2 wheels or 4 wheels? And be honest, have you ever had a wheel break off in the middle of a trip? Type 2 wheels forever or team spinner below, and tell me your horror story if you have one. I want to leave you with this final thought. Your luggage is not just a box for your clothes. It is the tool that enables your freedom. When you are 70, 75, or 80, your ability to travel depends entirely on your ability to move. If your bag fights you, if it twists your wrist, hurts your back, or spills your belongings, it makes your world smaller. It makes you afraid to book the next trip. But if you have the right gear, a bag that balances perfectly, handles that support you, and zippers that protect you, travel becomes effortless again. I want you to see the world. I want you to visit those European capitals and those tropical beaches. But I want you to do it with equipment that respects your body and protects your peace of mind. Don't buy the hype. Don't buy the pretty print. Buy the bag that works. Check your zippers. Weigh your bag. And keep rolling. I'm Sophia, your guardian of travel. I'll see you in the sky, hopefully with a bag that is as tough as you are.